Was Firewatch disappointing? I want to talk about in these first 30 seconds or so about something that doesn't have to do with spoilers. So if you haven't played the game and you don't want the game spoiled, this first part of the video is for you. And the rest will have to do with the ending, if it was disappointing, and pretty much the overall game. So, I beat the game about 20 minutes ago, and I feel pretty disappointed, but I want to quickly go in and explain that this game is not bad. It is not a bad game whatsoever. It is great. It is a indie game that has come out just yesterday at the time of recording this for PC and PS4. That's my knowledge for release. I don't believe it came out for anything else, so don't hold me to that, but that's what I'm pretty sure of. This game's introduction is great. It's just text on a screen, just words, and it tells you all about pretty much the character you play as, Henry. It tells you about his life, and it's cool. You learn about how he met his girlfriend slash wife and the stuff that happened with that, and then you kind of learn like why he's out there in the first place. And then as you go through the first few days in game, it gets you hooked instantly. After the first suspenseful thing happens, you're hooked instantly. It is a good game. The art style too is great. It is a great looking, it's a kind of a cartoony looking game, but it looks really good. And it was when I first played this, let me just say this. This is the first time in a long time that I've played a game, probably since The Last of Us, that I've actually felt such a good character connection. And I play a lot of games, and I felt a lot of character connection between Delilah and Henry, the two that talk together pretty much throughout the game. So, don't get me wrong when I say that the game is disappointing, because the game isn't really disappointing, which is what we're going to talk about. So, if you have not played the game and you don't want the game spoiled, probably click off the video now. Or if you just don't care and you just kind of just want to lay back and see what this game really is about, it's going to involve spoilers and you'll get some stuff spoiled, but that's up to you. So, spoiler section is starting now. Before I get to the ending, I just want to say that the ending did disappoint me, and I will go into that, but let's talk about a certain scene or a certain part that happened in the game that I absolutely loved. When there's that first forest fire, and you're talking with Delilah on the radio, she talks about how much better it would be if she could be over there in your watchtower, and we wouldn't have to use these stupid radios. We could just sit there and talk, and and your character's like, I don't know, what would we do? And she's like, you get it? You get sex. Probably, I mean, I don't know, but I'm just saying, the connection between them was so good, and so pretty much throughout the whole game, I wanted to go and meet that person in their watchtower. That's what I was waiting for. I was hoping it would happen. I had read some reviews before the game came out that said, or it was like the first day it came out, I was reading reviews, and it said that the ending to the game was disappointing. And I wasn't sure because there's been a lot of times people say an ending to a movie is disappointing, and sometimes they just don't understand that the game or movie doesn't have closure, and that you're supposed to kind of like think about it. And I like movies and games that sometimes end with stuff that you have to like, so that happened and that happened, so that's probably why. That's how it ended. I see what no, this game doesn't end like that. This game ends with just a disappointing ending. Basically, you don't ever see Delilah. You don't see a picture. I didn't look around her watchtower when you get there at the end, so don't count me against it if I say that maybe there isn't a picture of her in there, but I just sat down and used the radio instantly. You ask her to stay there and wait for you when the helicopters arrive. She said she would, and you get there, and she says, I'm sorry I left. You should go back to Julia, who's your wife that has Alzheimer's, and you're like, I have to move on. Why don't you come back with me? And she's like, no, but maybe I'll come visit you. Good luck, Henry. Goodbye. And then you get on the helicopter, you lift off. Like, as you're lifting off, black screen credits, nothing in the credits, straight back to main menu, empty. I felt so empty. I'm so disappointed. And especially since it just happened like 20-30 minutes ago, I'm definitely beyond disappointed. So, I guess I'll just say this. overall, the game is not bad. It is not a bad game. This is kind of a shorter video because I just want to know what you guys think. If you guys have played it, or if you've watched a walkthrough and seen the ending, the game is good. It's got some good suspense. It's got a good story pretty much overall. It's not a bad game, but there are some parts of the game that just feel repetitive, especially walking back and forth between the same sites pretty much throughout the whole game. That's the main complaint I had. Was I don't mind games that are story driven, there's like not too much action, that involve walking a lot, but when you're walking back and forth between the same locations over and over and over again, it does get kind of bad, or not bad, just annoying and kind of boring, and it's just repetitive. So the game's not disappointing, the ending's disappointing. Like, if a movie is good but the ending disappoints you, is the movie bad? No. But so, is Firewatch disappointing? That's up for you people to decide. For me, it is a great, amazing game, and I'm glad I played it. And I hope that anyone out there that hasn't played it yet does try. Just give it a try. I'm sure you'll like it. Just don't be surprised if you're disappointed. I'm just gaming, by the way. But I'm gonna go ahead and leave now. Just tell me what you think. Goodbye.